please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Jason Eatock, SME lead for Zurich-UK General Insurance.
Welcome.
Jason, thanks for joining us. You look great in that video, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, my tie was a bit wonky though. So,
You'll look great in this video too once we get it cleaned up. Okay, so it's been 7 months since you went live with ZTrade. Can you tell us about the business success of this extranet and how it's impacted the SME market?
yeah, absolutely. I think it's worth just setting a bit of context first as well. Just aware that a lot of people in the audience won't know an awful lot about the UK market or what we're doing.
Sure.
So we rolled out our first product on ZTrade back in July last year. And since that time, we've been in a rapid rollout schedule. So we've now got 10 products live. 7 of them are out to market, 3 of them are still in live proving. And over the coming weeks and months, we continue that rapid deployment. So by the end of the first quarter in 2016, we'll have 17 products, our full SME suite, and all of the full functionality.
So you're taking a lot of vacation time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are, midway through that deployment, really. And that product suite's really important to us. In the UK market, we're entering a very mature market. We've got 3 competitors who, between them, control over 50% of the market. They've got their solution out there. Brokers are used to using it, and therefore they've built muscle memory. We've got to break into that and use our last mover advantage to introduce something to the market that allows us to really leapfrog what the competition are doing. So that's kind of where we are, midway through the deployment. In terms of benefits, I think I'd probably split them down into 3 major chunks.
Okay.
So if I start with customers, whilst I'm here at this conference this week, we're gonna write our 10,000th customer on the platform.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Great little milestone to get by. So we're really pleased with that.
A little bit party later tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really positive because it means, I think we've talked quite a lot yesterday and we've touched on it this morning. A good business strategy will always aim to deliver good customer outcomes. Right. And what this means is we've got 10,000 customers now who are benefiting from market-leading products, from what I like to call an SME survival kit, our value adds that we offer. But they're also benefiting from better service from their brokers because we've equipped the brokers with ZTrade, which puts them in control of the service they give to the customers.
Sure.
I think the second area of benefits that we really look at is, when I look at our people, and our underwriters are really excited about what we're doing, and underwriters and excited are not 2 words I put in the same sentence very often. But for this, I definitely do. So the products we've got live in the market at the moment are all serviced by a team of underwriters in our Cardiff office, and they give us really positive feedback about the move from where we've come from to ZTrade. It enables them to give much better service to their brokers, which is great. But the wider SME, the underwriters that deal with fleet and our combined policy, they can see what's coming. They can see how ZIP allows them to be really quick to react to brokers, get into the negotiation a lot more quickly. Our combined policy underwriters currently use 40 systems to get a quote to market. Wow. So they can see ZTrade just around the corner now, meaning that they'll only have to touch 1 system, and they can start to invest all of their time into building relationships, negotiation, and really driving the business forward, which is great. So our underwriters really see that benefit coming down the track. And finally, I think from a Zurich perspective, we've talked about, we're about to write our 10,000th customer, which is great. From a CBA perspective, we're kind of on track to where we need to be. But I think the benefits are wider than that. The SME piece was always going to be a proof of concept, really to establish whether Duck Creek could do all the things that we were told it could do. And we're at the point now where I think that's been proven. We're in a really good place. So for Zurich in the UK now, it gives us a great foundation to continue an IT simplification journey where we can start to use Duck Creek across other segments of our business. I think the last thing it's done is really show that Duck Creek is a platform that allows us to define our products and our rating once, but then return different answers depending on the distribution channel that asks us the question. And that really equips us really well for the future, reacting to the changes that are going to take place in the industry.
Very cool.
That's great. Now, has this changed the way you interact with your brokers and underwriters and their ability to collaborate?
Hopefully for the better.
Absolutely, and we touched on it a little bit in the last question, but also in the video. And this is the real fundamental difference where I talked about using our last move advantage to really overtake the competition. And we've looked at all the things they do well and all the things that brokers like, and we've just taken that to the next level, which is great. Again, probably worth just giving a little bit of background, which is, we set out to build a new strategy for SME in the UK a few years ago, and the first step of that was talking to a lot of people. And one particular broker we talked to really sticks in my mind, said, for SME, I need it quick, easy, and cheap. He said, you guys, you're slow, difficult to navigate, and expensive.
Sold.
So, apart from that, I thought we were doing pretty well. But that told us, we had to do a complete transformation. We couldn't just build what we do currently onto a new platform and expect us to go into the market and win. So we continued that research. We started with the customer to really understand the customer. We established that SME customers in the UK are becoming more complex. So the recession had forced them to diversify activities, diversify markets. They were all facing the same technological challenges and opportunities that the rest of us are facing. And it also told us they were really passionate about their business. They'd spent usually years or decades building their business. And they didn't see placing insurance for their business the same as they saw placing their home or their motor. It was just more complex, and they wanted some advice to make sure they had the right protection in place. So they really valued the input of a professional broker to help them place the right cover and protect their livelihood. So that told us early on that we should go into a broker-only approach for our strategy, which in turn then drove us down the route of the key thing to do is to remove the frictional cost of trading between the underwriters and the brokers. So you saw from the video some of the things that we've done there, and we think we've introduced some really cool stuff. So we've completely rewritten all of our products. They were all rewritten at the same time. They now fit together like a family of products. Brokers get used to selling one, they get used to selling them all. We started again from a rating perspective, and we've now got the most sophisticated rating algorithm we use in the UK within the Duck Creek platform for the SME products, and we're really using the Duck Creek rating capability to full effect there. And we've also built a few little things in that just encourage brokers to come to ZTrade first instead of somewhere else. So things like the zip, the quick quote,
Sure.
The commission slider, the broker summary document. These are all things that just encourage them to come to ZTrade first. They're all good, but the really fundamental difference is replacing all of our legacy platforms with a new policy administration system, and then exposing that to brokers as an extranet. And that's really important because it really changes the way that we do interact with our brokers. Because they're using exactly the same platform as we are, what it means is for simple business, they can self-serve through the full policy life cycle, makes it very quick and easy, just as the broker at the start asked for. But when they get something that's a little bit more complex and they need to refer, it means that one of our underwriters can take over the case where the broker leaves off. They can spread their little bit of magic underwriting dust and then return control of the case back to the broker to continue through the transaction, to issue the quote, to bind the case, or whatever it is that the broker's doing. And that's really important because it really facilitates those seamless referrals between the brokers and the underwriters. What it also does is it gets rid of the artificial boundaries, if you like, between the business that can be transacted on a traditional basis and the business that can be transacted on an electronic basis. And it means that we can trade electronically far larger and far more complex business than our competition. So again, that's a real benefit. I said we're kind of midway through our rollout, midway through the deployment. So obviously we're getting a lot of feedback at the moment.
Right.
We haven't got everything right, we've got to deal with some of those things. But real positive for me is that all of the feedback about the interaction between brokers and our team in Cardiff is positive. We haven't had a single piece of
That's
Could be all
negative.
that magic underwriting dust.
Absolutely, I don't understand it all. But that's really important because I think if you want a broker to build the confidence to place a large volume of vanilla SME business with you, it's how you deal with those exceptions that really matters.
Now, I know you guys use Syntel for system support. How important was it for you to use them as an SI partner when you selected Duck Creek?
Yeah, I think the key thing here really is choice. We talked a little bit about it, in terms of the strategy we're putting out there. But we went through a really in-depth selection process to choose the right piece of software, and we're confident we got exactly the right piece of software. So we wanted to do the same when we made a decision on the SI partner that we were going to work with. We chose the right piece of software, but this was all pretty new to us.
Sure.
So it was important that we could find somebody who'd been there, done it, got the T-shirt, and therefore we went through a process of looking at a few SI partners and really understanding who had what we considered at the time to be the best experience. And I think Syntel really jumped out for us then. So we looked at the individuals that they were going to put onto the work that we needed doing. We looked at how many individual deployments those people had been involved with, and it was clear that they'd all done a lot. And that was important. It gave me a lot of confidence because, frankly, they would have learned a lot of the hard lessons when somebody else was paying. So I think that's really important to us. So we selected Syntel mainly for that reason. We've been working with Syntel now for 2.5 years, I think, Anil and Tabrez are here today. And I think that's been a really positive relationship. I think there's probably two key things that I'd pull out, because these big programs never go completely smoothly. But the two key things for me are they've really taken time to understand our business strategy. And I think that's really important to me because as they're doing their work and as they're doing their piece, they really understand what it is that we're trying to achieve. At times with some of the Syntel team, I actually think they're more keen to deliver something market leading into the UK market than I am. It's quite cool. And the second thing is just the ability to work as one big team.
Yeah.
I think with any large program, being able to work as one single team is hugely important. And I often get involved with meetings or situations where we'll have some business people, we'll have some guys from Syntel, we'll have our IT department, and it's really quite difficult to tell who reports to who. Those lines really become quite blurred.
Right.
So I think the option and the choice, the ability to choose who we wanted to work with on the piece of software was really important. I think we're in a really good place.
Well, thank you so much for trekking across the pond, and congratulations on your 10,000th customer signed, and I look forward to joining you for your party tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Jason Eatock a round of applause.